welcome back to the Handyman for Hire YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss how much it should cost to replace your furnace. Stick around and we'll discuss the three main factors that go into how much a furnace is to replace. If you're not interested in what goes into the pricing, you just want to get an average price, skip to this timestamp. But we're going to discuss these three things that go into it, and then we'll discuss the national average and kind of what you can expect if you need to replace your furnace. So the first thing that is factored in when giving a price to someone is overhead. Now, it's understood that a larger company is going to need to charge more because they have several employees, they have a lot of equipment, a fleet of vehicles, insurance, yada yada yada. So you can expect to spend quite a bit more when you go with a large company. A couple of drawbacks with that is obviously one, the price is going to be higher. Two, you might not have as much of a close-knit relationship with a larger company. You might get to know one of the technicians, but it probably won't be that technician that you'll see on a repeated basis. So overhead is a big factor. So with smaller HVAC contractors like myself, somebody who's just a one-man show or has, maybe one employee that helps them, obviously the price of install is going to go way down. And that doesn't mean that you're going to be getting a not as good service. It just means there's less overhead, and that contractor that doesn't have all this overhead can charge significantly less and still give you a good service. The second factor is the location. Where is your furnace located? If it's up in the attic where there's no space to work and it's just a nightmare to get to, that's also going to factor into the price that you're given. Whereas, if it's in your basement or on the main level where it's super easy to get to, you can just put your dolly on it, pull it out. That's going to determine how low or high your replacement is as well. The third thing is the equipment. If you have an old 92% efficiency furnace, what you'll notice when you look in there where your furnace is you'll see plastic venting. Sometimes that can be reused when you go with a 96% efficiency furnace. Now, to give you some clarity on that, if you go to where your furnace is and you see a big metal pipe coming out that's like 4 or 5 inches in diameter, that is going to be what's considered an 80% efficient furnace, meaning it's only utilizing 80% of the natural gas or the propane that's going in, and the rest is going out of that flue. So if you opt for a 96% efficiency furnace, that venting is going to need to be changed. It's going to need plastic venting because the high efficiency furnaces, they create condensation. They utilize so much of the heat or the gas that's being put in that it will condensate, and a lot more moisture will go out of the exhaust, and you actually have a condensate drain off of the furnace. So they can't use that metal piping because it will rust. So if you go inside your area where the furnace is and you see a metal vent, you know it's at 80%. If there's plastic venting, like one or two pipes that are plastic PVC, you know that it's at least above 90% efficiency. So ultimately, that's going to impact the price that you are given when it comes to the furnace. If you want a 96% efficient or higher furnace, there's going to be significantly more work involved. Meaning, if you're going from an 80% to a 96%, that will require routing new PVC venting, and that's quite a bit of work as well. So those are the three things that really determine how much it is to replace your furnace. Overhead, location, and equipment. So the national average is between $4,800 and $9,300 for a full furnace replacement. Now, when I first read this, I was like, holy cow, I've never charged close to the minimum of the national average, which is $4,800. And that just goes to show that a lot of the companies are larger and they charge a lot of money. So just to give you an idea on someone who is working by himself or has, one or two employees, to replace a furnace, if you're going with an 80%, a lot of my furnace replacements are somewhere in the $2,000 range if we're just going with an 80% furnace. If we're upgrading them to a 96%, you can expect somewhere closer to $3,000, maybe $3,500. But I've never gotten close to this $4,800 price point, much less $9,300 to replace a furnace. That just seems outrageous. So another alternative is, if you are a handy person, you can totally replace your own furnace as a homeowner. There's no one saying that you can't do that. As a homeowner, you accept the liability and the risk involved with replacing something that has a flame inside of it for majority of the wintertime. But it's not rocket science, and you can potentially buy a furnace from Goodman or other brands that have a good warranty right out of the box, and you can get them for less than $1,000. So you can potentially save $9,000 doing this yourself, or on the lower range, save yourself $3,000. So check out a few of my other videos. They are in depth in terms of what you can expect replacing your furnace. We live in Utah, so our furnaces are laid out a bit differently than, somewhere on the East Coast where a lot of them are in the attic. But it gives you a general idea of what all is involved with replacing your furnace. So hopefully this video has helped you kind of get a ballpark idea if your furnace needs to be replaced or if you're wanting to upgrade it. It'll give you a ballpark idea on what to expect, how much to set aside for that expense. Our next video will be how much it costs to replace your air conditioning system, separate from the furnace. And then we'll also include what it costs to replace the whole system, the furnace, the inside coil, all of the air conditioning components, everything. So stay tuned for that, and it'll be coming out pretty soon. If you found this video helpful, make sure and hit this little button right here. It's super appreciated when people subscribe to the channel, and we look forward to bringing out many more awesome videos for you awesome viewers. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.